and his posterity later. And so Abram went down to Egypt to sojourn there, for the famine was severe in the land. This seems to be a continuing thing that happens from time to time, that there is a great famine in the area. And then what do they all do? They go to Egypt. They go to Egypt. For some reason, Egypt seems to be the stability in the region, and I could understand that. Probably a much more stable land. But he goes there, it says, and he sojourned. To sojourn, that means he's really a visitor. That's what he is. He is a visitor. Now, there are a lot of people who want to try to use this for immigration policy and all that. No, this is not that. This is just he went there and he visited. That's all he did. He just went and visited there for a little while, lived in the land for a while. And for the famine was severe in the land. And when he was about to enter Egypt, he said to Sarai, his wife, I know that you are a woman beautiful in appearance. And when the Egyptians see you, they will say, this is his wife. Then they will kill me, but they will let you live. Say you are my sister, that it may go well with me because of you, and that my life may be spared for your sake. Now, this happens again later in the genealogy with another husband and wife. But Abram here is being very deceitful. Now, let's understand something about what we see in the Bible. One of the things that I really like about Scripture is that generally it gives the good, the bad, the ugly, and the indifferent. There's a lot of great things that Abram does, a lot of great things. But here he's being quite deceptive. Why? Because of fear. He's afraid that they're, and in that day they could do that. He had an attractive wife. They would kill you, take your wife. This would happen. But again, it seems to be less than what we would think of somebody of Abram's quality. But again, this is pragmatism. This is him trying to save his own hide and trying to do the things that he must do to survive. What do a lot of us do today? We try to survive. Now, I'm not talking hook or crook. I'm not talking that. But I'm talking just doing what you have to do. And that appears to be what he's doing here. And again, we see him with all of his flaws and with everything that is here. And here's another thing. This is not just on Abram. Sarah agrees to it. She agrees to it. So here we have a husband and a wife working together in really deceitful ways here. But we see the good, the bad, the ugly, and the indifferent of both. So I kind of like that. And he says, say you are my sister, that it may go well with me because of you, and that my life may be spared for your sake. And when Abram entered Egypt, and the Egyptians saw that the woman was very beautiful, and when the princes of Pharaoh saw her, they praised her to Pharaoh. And the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house. And for her sake he dealt well with Abram. So what did he do? And he had sheep and oxen, so he takes care of him. He gives him a lot of stuff. This is money. This is currency in the day. And male donkeys, male servants, female donkeys, and camels. It's called a dowry. He was trying to buy his sister, according to Abram. This is his sister. So he's trying to buy her, and that's what you did. And, here's the thing. Depending on your daughter, your whatever, you could sell and make a lot of money. And that's what they did today. I'm sorry, ladies, you were property. Just the way it was in the day. You've come a long way, as they said. So he had donkeys and camels and all that. But the Lord afflicted Pharaoh in his house with great plagues because of Sarai, Abram's wife. I want you to understand something. Just because you do something and you think you're going to get by with it, there are consequences. God sometimes may bring a consequence about in order to actually save something. He's actually causing Pharaoh some issues because what's he trying? He's actually trying to keep Pharaoh from consummating this thing and doing an even greater evil than has been done with the deception of Abram and Sarai. Have you ever had that thing that you felt like, maybe you had a flat tire that day, And I know this sounds cliche, but have you ever thought maybe you were delayed something could have happened on the road that day. Who knows? We just don't know how many times God may have intervened for us, and we just don't really even know. And I'm sure sometimes we need to understand that He is doing that when something happens. It's not that He's being rough on us, He's trying to help us out. And so all these great plagues came upon him. So Pharaoh called Abram and said, "What is this you have done to me?" He says, "Man, what are you trying to do to me? You lied to me. Why are you doing this to me that God is bringing this upon me?" So what did I do to you? "Why did you not tell me that she was your wife?" See, it's better to be truthful and upfront at the very beginning. You know, it's when people do things, like a lot of times in the political world, they'll do something, and then it's the cover-up is worse than the crime. You know, kind of remember back to Watergate and some of those things. And then these guys will try to cover it up. Well, same thing here. The cover-up was really worse than the crime here, you know, in a way. So a lot of things were happening. He said, "Why didn't you tell me this? Why didn't you just tell me? Why didn't you be truthful up front? Now then, here is your wife, take her and go." Basically, Pharaoh is saying, "Okay, Abram, here's Sarah, your wife. You're Sarai, your wife. Now take her and don't let the door hit you, on the way out." Basically, that's what he's doing. He's saying, "Here, get out of here. You caused me enough problems." And Pharaoh gave men orders concerning him, and they sent him away with his wife and all that he had. So Pharaoh says, "Hey, you better not mess with this guy and his wife. Better leave him alone. Leave him alone." It appears that even this Pharaoh was even a decent man. It appears. I don't know. Maybe had not these plagues come upon him. I don't know. But at least he does the right thing when he knows what's going on. Always be upfront. Always be truthful.